look at us, a couple of old pros.
Old pros.
So, what's going on in your life? I know you're very excited to talk about today's topic. So I don't know, like, do you want to just
No, we should talk about our lives and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, but Megan, just so everybody is aware, like I'm hanging on the edge of my seat just like y'all are, because she texted me this weekend and she was like, "You're not going to believe what happened to me," but I'm not going to tell you till the podcast. So, but yeah, first let's chitty chat.
And now it's going to be less exciting because it's not like Taylor Swift showed up to the wedding or anything.
Yeah, but it's fine. Okay, so tell
It's
me,
fine.
non-wedding, non-work, if you're able to.
Non-work.
Well, what's been going on in your life? You did have a mini Catholic Central High School reunion.
I did have a mini Catholic Central High School reunion. I saw a few people that I haven't seen in a while. But you know what's funny? As we're getting older, I am starting to see people a little bit more. And by a little bit more, I mean once a year.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you see them getting old?
Hmm.
Because, like, I don't think we look old. But, like, I wonder if I, like, showed up and saw one of our classmates that I'd be like, whoa. Is everyone aging well?
Well, I only saw a handful of people, and I think everybody out of that group is aging well.
That's great.
Maybe I've got blinders on.
Right.
But like nobody has a head full of gray hair.
Like everyone still has their hair?
Nobody's out of shape, really. I mean, you know, like we're
Yeah.
getting older, but like I don't know. Like everybody in my mind looked kind of the same.
That's great.
So shout out to you guys. Nobody listens to this. Nobody listens to this.
Well, which is good because it's a free space for us to just be whatever.
And it's not relevant to anything that they do in their lives. So like one person, now I'm afraid to say names because I don't want to but it's not bad. So one person asked me, or they were like, "Oh, you have a podcast," like they had no idea, which I wouldn't expect them to have any idea because we do not follow each other on social media. We're not involved in each other's lives. Like, why would they know?
Right.
And I felt myself kind of not poo-pooing it, but just being like, you would have no interest in this podcast. So don't I was almost like, don't listen to it.
Except for you should, because we talk about them all the time.
I did not say that. I did not tell them that.
They can find out for themselves. Like, I just am really proud of us for all aging well, because I will say as a class, we didn't do much well. Like, we were not a great, our class wasn't all like friends. We were just weird. We were like a weird class.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it's good to know that we all unified on like looking good in our 40s.
Yeah.
Hey, stop. I'm dog sitting, and this is my first time I've dog sat for a boy dog. And I'm like so sick of the licking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's so like on brand for all men. Anyways.
So what have you been up to? You're dog sitting still in New York, right?
I'm in New York, yes. I fly home today. I moved my flight early because there's a bunch of weather coming in. And I really want to get home. Yeah, I really want to get home. But it's been nice. I really love New York. I've been staying in Brooklyn. And I pretty much kept to myself. I redid my website. Hey, everybody, go check out my new website, www.afreshevent.com. I pretty much scrubbed it clean. It only says weddings like 4 times instead of like 400. And really am like pushing now towards like all events.
Yep.
Social, corporate.
And you said you like the way that it turned out.
Yeah, it looks great. And Megan's on it. She is a cameo. If you want to go look at my page, I shout out the Planner's Passport, and there's a little video of us being adorable. But yeah, I'm ready to go home and get back to a routine. I love not having a routine, but then like I want it back. But that's why I like to travel too, Mm-hmm. Well, I am traveling right now. That's why I do that. That's why I do this. But yeah.
Okay, well, speaking about weather interrupting your flight, let's get into our topic.
Oh my gosh, I am so good at transitions without even meaning to be.
Subliminal, isn't that the word?
It's pure talent. It's pure talent. Okay, tell me your story. I'm gonna lean back and sip my coffee.
All right. I just wanted to tell you in case the sweat started dripping down my face like your date the other night in the
Oh,
Have you seen him again?
no,
Okay.
no,
Just checking.
no new
Sweaty
dates.
McSweatersons.
Yeah, that kind of turned me off from dating.
Just imagine what happens when he gets worked up.
That was exactly what went through my mind. It'd be like a pool.
Like dripping on
Ew,
you.
ew, ew. Okay, anyway.
Maybe I'll have to leave that in now.
I think you should leave that in for sure. Okay.
Okay. Weather. Weather plays a big role in our job. So, for any of our Milwaukee listeners, and I don't know about Chicago because you were out of town, this past weekend, Milwaukee, Wauwatosa, surrounding areas experienced what they are saying is historic flooding.
Holy cow.
You did not know this?
I'm in Brooklyn. What do I need to know what's going on in Wisconsin? Isn't my accent horrible? Okay.
So, yeah, historic flooding. They said it was like a 500-year flood. Some years it was a 1,000-year flood. We had State Fair going on this weekend. There were cars where the water was up to the top of their windows.
Are you kidding me?
No, people had 9 to 10 feet of water in their basement in some places, like up to the top. Like if you had Jen's looking at pictures right now. She really has not seen anything about this.
No.
She's been living under a rock.
I've been working on my website, okay?
Oh my God. Well, yeah. Miller Park, the parking lots were underwater.
I wonder if Amanda and Dan are okay.
Tall guy worked the wedding with me on Saturday.
So was he there?
No. I mean, tall guy like the company, not the actual tall guy.
Yeah.
He didn't grace us with his presence.
Okay, holy shit. She's not lying. Flash flood warnings. Okay, continue.
Okay, so I had a wedding this weekend, as did many wedding vendors in Milwaukee. So I would just like to shout out all of the wedding vendors who were working until 1 a.m. and dealing with this crisis, I guess I'll say. It was insane. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and what happened. Because I was texting Jen the whole time, but didn't give her any details.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the venue that I had my wedding at, it's called.
I was like, oh, we're going way back in time.
No. That's like when people give toasts at the wedding and the dad stands up. He's like, on the day they were born. And you're like, oh, good Lord. I didn't need that much information.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So the venue that I had my wedding at, Schlitz Audubon, it's a venue that is in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
The ceremony site is a little bit away from the actual venue. Like you're not just walking from inside right outside and you're where the ceremony. You have to walk down a path into the woods, into this open clearing. And there's a small pavilion, but there's chairs. It's all outside. Okay?
I'm already annoyed. But anyways.
I'm not. It's pretty. So when there is a wedding that Jen and I are having and it's outdoors, we're watching the weather.
Did you just say weather?
Weather. We're always watching the weather. But I think everybody can blame this historic flood on me because I got a little cocky. Because earlier in the week, the venue manager texted me and she said, hey, we can practice when we do the rehearsal outside and we can practice the rain backup plan. And I looked at the weather and I said, no, we don't need to practice the rain backup plan because there is a 0% chance that it is going to rain. Let's just practice outside and be done with it. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, come on. We don't need to practice in multiple locations. So then on the day of the wedding, I roll in Saturday morning and the first person I see is the rental company who's responsible for bringing in the tables, setting up the chairs outside. And my good friend Doug looks at me and he said, hey, when do we need to make a call about the weather? And I looked at him like he was crazy. And I said, Doug, it's not going to rain.
Had you not looked at the weather again that morning?
I really didn't. Jen, 0% chance.
Yeah, but it was 0% chance on what day? Monday?
Like Thursday. Okay. I had looked at the weather in between that, but I hadn't looked at it that morning.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So then I do look at the weather and it still says it's not going to rain. Like 0% chance. The weather is all west of us. I'm like, we're going to be fine. We have to make the call by 2:00, but we're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So then, it starts to get in my head a little bit, right? Because now I'm thinking about it a little bit more. Like, why is he saying this?
Well, why are multiple people now asking you about this? Yes.
Well,
It's also the
yeah,
universe giving you a sign.
it is. And I don't listen. I didn't listen.
Yes. Okay.
So then the florist comes in and she's like, "Did you know it's raining to the west of us?" And I was like, I did know it's raining. I've looked at the weather. I'm a smart person. Good thing it's not going to come over here because my weather app says it's not going to rain. And she's like, "Yeah, my weather app also says it's not going to rain." Every wedding vendor was looking at their weather app all day. And we had different apps, okay?
Okay.
The officiant, the DJ company who was bringing speakers to put outside in the pavilion, the strings group who was going to be playing outside, all of us looking at the weather. Nobody thought it was going to rain.
Okay.
And then about an hour beforehand, we start to hear a little thunder in the distance. And you know what? We still don't think it's going to rain because what we saw on our weather maps was a huge band of weather to the west of us that was going to be pushing all around us, right? We knew that it was out to the west and it wasn't raining. And it still said on everybody's weather app, 0% chance of rain.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes before we started, as the guests are already in, as I am literally about to go get the bride, it starts raining. Jen, I kid you not, a tree falls near where everybody is sitting, which I don't know why that happened because it's not like the wind had really picked up. Don't imagine some big blustery thing. It was just like the rain was starting, we were hearing thunder, and you could tell from the atmosphere that the rain was picking up. And I looked at the mother of the groom because she's the one who planned this whole wedding with me and financed it. And I was like, what are we doing? Because the bride is still inside and the groom is still inside. I don't have time to even go ask them about this. And they're like, I'm like, what do you want to do? And they're like, we think we should move. I was like, good. I think we should move too. And
well, it's raining. What is the alternative?
It wasn't raining. Like it could have just been passing. People had some umbrellas. But as soon as I stood up and I was like, okay, everybody, we're moving this inside. As soon as people started to move, it was like downpour, like the biggest downpour that you have ever seen in your life. So if you go on people's social media from this past weekend and you watch videos of the rain coming down, it was absolutely insane. So everybody had to walk up to the venue, kind of run as much as they could in high heels or whatever they were wearing. And then this is why you have experienced planners. So we can't set up the backup plan at this point. We are past the point of being able to set up a decent backup plan inside. The normal backup plan is outside on the veranda. It's still covered. So the inside is all set for the dinner. There's tables everywhere. So we push everybody outside on the veranda. People are standing. I'm like, it's going to be a standing ceremony. We essentially like bring in a few chairs in the front for the parents and clear the aisle. We couldn't bring a microphone over because it was all wet and it wasn't really safe at that point to set up speakers around. We forgot about the strings group. So they were stuck in the pavilion back there. So we had to find a golf cart and go back out in the rain. Mind you, it's like storming like lightning all over and we're in the woods right now. So somebody had to send a golf cart because for anybody who doesn't know, you can't, even though strings instruments are in cases, they can't go out. They could be totally wrecked if they get wet. So they're very particular. We did go get them. The bride was sad. So that took about 20 minutes to get everything situated. Yeah. So we had to do this with like no flowers because they were all stuck outside. We had already set up.
Yeah.
Okay. So we did the ceremony. People don't care. Guests don't care.
No.
And then, vendors are all like soaked. Like if you could imagine all of these people who are trying to look professional, like wet dog
Yeah.
soaked.
Yeah.
Like we're just all disgustingly soaked.
Gross.
Then while cocktail hour is happening, come inside. We're trying to like save as much as we can. So, for example, normally we use flowers from the ceremony inside the space.
Mm-hmm.
These were all going on the head table, like big elevated arrangements. The or not huppa, the flowers like that were on the arch were going to go down the head table. So we brought them in and we were like dumping water out of like the bowls at the bottom and then drying them with paper towel because we couldn't put them on the table. Otherwise, they would just like drip everywhere and get the linens all wet. So I'm like on my hands and knees with paper towel, like like dumping water ever because I'm wet anyway. Anyway,
Gross.
it all gets figured out. That part is fine. I eat. I go into the back
I eat.
to finally like have a minute.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm like,
Oh
oh, I
no.
must have gotten a mosquito bite or something. Like my foot itches.
Oh no.
And I look down and I
No.
have red, like fire ant bites, is what I think it is, all over both of my feet because I had these slide shoes on. Jen, have you ever been bitten by fire ants?
No, but I had a pinched nerve once.
Okay, it's not the same. This is like you want to scratch so bad. And I have on my feet, they still itch, but it's getting a little better. And my feet were swollen. I must have been standing somewhere outside and got attacked by fire ants. Probably 100 bites on my feet.
Oh my God.
It was insane. So then I'm sitting there the rest of the night and my feet are on
Megan.
fire. Are on fire the whole time.
God, I hate being a wedding planner.
Oh, it was so miserable. And then you know how I love it when people come up and like condescendingly tell me how great a job I did, which I get it. They probably were saying like they legitimately thought I did a good job because I really like kind of took over and just was like, this is what we have to do. But I was just annoyed because my feet hurt. So I was probably resting bitch face the whole night.
Well, also, this is just I think we've touched on this because it's like really irking me lately. The whole condescending, you did such a good job. I hear stories like that, and I just am like, people literally have no idea what we do.
No.
Like hearing a story like that, I wish I could say is like, oh wow, I've never heard anything like that before. I have. I've heard many iterations. I mean,
yeah, we'll talk about some of the.
But exactly. Yeah. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we deal with this kind of stuff all the time, and then we're just like party planners, and it's just I just want to like strangle people.
Yeah. And then the worst part of the whole night was when I had to leave because so imagine it's 1:00 in the morning. It is still storming. By this time, this is when the flooding is happening on the roads. Roads are shut down, accidents all over, lightning flashing like every 15 seconds, Jen. It was insane. And we're in the woods. So I had to run outside the venue to get my car. So I thought I was going to get struck by lightning. Then I had to bring the car around to the loading dock, load up all their stuff because this is what we do. And I'm getting drenched with, soaking. It's just pouring. So then I get in my car and I'm like, okay, I remember that they had coolers and a welcome sign over by where the ceremony entrance was. And because I'm not a dick, I drove over there, loaded those in my car in the middle of the woods while I'm going to die and the lightning is flashing around me. And then I have to drive home, which is typically a 20 to 25-minute drive. And it probably took me 45 minutes. That was the scariest drive I have ever had in my life. And for anybody in Milwaukee area on Saturday night who looked out their window at midnight and was like, who are all of these idiots driving around at night? I will tell you who they are. They are wedding vendors. Wedding vendors who are busting their ass to work these weddings, who have to go pick up their stuff at the end of the night, drive home at the end of the night, and risking our lives. I will say it, risking our lives to be on the road for these weddings.
Was Jared awake and checking on you the whole time?
No.
Oh, Jared. He was. I had him in the running for my friend's best husband award, and now he's out.
I mean, I did text him when the fire ant situation happened, and he responded. So,
yes, 17 years of marriage.
yeah, he's like, she'll make it home. So I was driving in the first stretch of road. I have never seen such a large, I can't even call it a puddle. It was bigger than a puddle. It took over both lanes of road. If there wouldn't have been a car in front of me who went through it and that car was smaller than mine and they made it, I would never have gone through that standing water. Like, that's the type of thing where you read online where they're like, people got their car stuck in the standing water. And you're like, why did they drive through it? That's stupid. Like, this would have been that. And then I don't know where I would have went. I would have had to go north and probably just stayed at a hotel because the other road was closed and I was not getting on the interstate. I was driving home and it was raining so hard. The only line that I could see was like the line right next to my car.
No, that's terrifying.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
But I'm alive and itchy.
Ugh.
And
you have a wedding on Saturday.
And going into another wonderful wedding on Saturday. But this is our life. Like, this is the job. Because now we have a few more weather-related stories that we can tell you about.
Yes.
This is what we do.
It is what we do. Here I come again because I think I'm a little crabby today. We haven't really had an episode where I've been crabby in a while. But why do people want to get married outside so badly? Like, okay, we live in the Midwest. In other parts of the country, like Southern California, say, New Mexico, for example, where it's like statistically proven that they have like 300 days of sun. That is where you plan an outside wedding.
Yeah.
In the Midwest, it will rain or snow pretty much every other day. Like, it's and there's no guarantee that it won't snow in May. Like, it's just like, this is where I sometimes just get annoyed where people have this vision in their head.
Yep.
And it overrides rational thought. Like, the number one complaint I ever hear from guests at weddings is, yeah, it was lovely, but we had to sit outside in the direct sun for 45 minutes and I was so hot.
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times. And if you are really thinking about your wedding day the way you should be, which you are hosting, yes, it's about you. People are coming because it's about you, but you are a host. Could you imagine having people over at your house and it's raining and you're like, well, but go outside.
Yeah.
Because like, I pictured this party where you were outside. And if you're not outside, I'm just going to like die.
I think what was so unique about this wedding is the fact that we all thought it was going to be fine right up until it wasn't.
Oh, yes. And I'm just generalizing.
No, I hear you because I certainly hear you. I always tell my couples, if you're planning on doing anything outside, you need to pick a venue where you like your backup plan.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be devastated if we have to move it, because I am more conservative in terms of let's move it in.
Me too.
Like, if there's a chance that this is not going to work out well, I'm always on the team of let's just move it.
Yeah.
This was so different where I really truly thought we were going to get missed by this. Yeah,
this was a fluke. I mean, there was nothing you could do in this situation, but listen to the universe that was trying to tell you the whole time. But anyways.
Yeah, but also, no, I know. Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, if I would have told my bride, hey, I think we should move this inside.
Because the universe is
like
telling
even
me
45 minutes before the ceremony, like there's no way she would have agreed to it.
There's nothing you could do here. But yeah, I mean, when I'm working with a couple now and we're touring a venue where there's any outdoor element, like even like cocktail hour, let's say, I say weather means rain, snow, and anything over 85 degrees. We're having this conversation.
Or really, if it's cooler too.
Totally.
Women show up in like strapless dresses and do not want to stand outside for your cocktail hour when it's 65 degrees outside.
Absolutely. So it's like temperature also as a factor. And if you, like you said earlier, if you're signing a contract with anyone for ceremony music, I mean, any music,
Yeah.
DJ, anything, we're talking about electricity or we're talking about really expensive, made from wood, handcrafted instruments.
Yes.
None of those things can be outside in certain temperatures or weather.
Right.
So anyways, it's just my crabbiness where it's like, look, get that image out of your head. Like if you can go into wedding planning and just keep in mind that like it might not look how, and this could apply to literally anything.
Yeah.
Your wedding day might not look like how you think it's going to.
Right.
But that's okay, you know, and if you're working with a planner, we have plan B, we have plan C.
Yep.
And you have to keep your guests' comfort in mind. Like, come on.
I think there's so many people who, like you said, they just have this image in their head, but also it's a little bit of, oh, look, we have this beautiful view and we want our guests to see this beautiful view that we chose for them. If your guests are uncomfortable, nobody fucking cares about the view.
Agreed. Honestly, if your guests are comfortable and well fed and there's an open bar, they will remember your event forever.
Yes, in a good way.
For the right reasons.
If you make them sit outside in the blazing sun for 20 minutes, they're going to remember the bad things.
For the weddings that I still continue to do, that I'm going to add that to my consult questions. I'm going to say, have you ever pictured yourself getting married outside? And if it doesn't happen, are you going to die? And if they say, yeah, I'm going to be like, here, call Megan. I'm just kidding. Oh. Okay. So speaking of, I'm going to tell you one of mine's heat related.
Okay.
So when I was first starting out, my first couple of years of wedding planning, barns were very well, actually, maybe they're still popular, but like barns were a thing. They were in. It was like this rustic chic or whatever.
Yeah, I don't do barns anymore.
God, me either. And also rustic chic. Like most of the wedding planning that I did in my first few years, it was like the most oxymoron weddings. You know what I mean? Like it'd be like city, country, you know, and you're like, what? Anyways, so it was on a legit farm, like it was a barn, and there was no air conditioning, and it was August. No, it was Labor Day, so early September. And I think a lot of people love to pretend that September is comfortable weather. My birthday is September 15th, and I can tell you, all 42 years of my life, it is god-awful hot until September 16th.
Oh my God. I specifically remember I had a wedding at the end of September, and they had this whole fall theme that we brought fall indoors, and it was seriously 98 degrees outside.
Okay. So yeah, but I'm like, forever, like my mind, it's always like so hot on my birthday, and then the next day it like cools off. But anyways, September is hot. Yeah,
it can be hot. Yes.
So just keep that in mind when you pick a venue that doesn't have air conditioning, which there are many. We're not just talking barns, but any historic property, you know, any beautiful like castle-esque mansion, probably no air conditioning.
Right.
So, you know, just keep that in mind. So had guests outside for the ceremony, direct sun. I mean, they were like so miserable.
Yep.
We get them inside for dinner. So outside, people are like outside for the ceremony. They don't want to go inside the barn for cocktail hour because it's so hot in the barn.
The air is probably stagnant.
Yeah. So we move them inside. We do speeches. People are miserable. And as soon as speeches are over and the bar opens again, everybody stands up, all like 200 people, and they go outside again.
Yeah.
And we can't get them in to eat.
Oh.
So food is just sitting there. No one's eating.
Mm-hmm. And they're drinking.
They are getting so drunk because they have been sweating their asses off.
Was this a Dare to Dream wedding?
Yes.
All the stories you tell are under my brand. Thank you.
You didn't have to ask. Nobody would have known. I changed twice. So I was smart enough to bring 2 dresses because it was like going to be like 95 degrees. It
Yeah.
was miserable. People were wasted. The food went to waste. Um, it finally cooled down at about 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
And so then people danced, but people weren't even dancing. In my opinion, total bust. Like people remember that wedding forever, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but not because they had a great time.
So here's a question for you. That was early on in your planning career.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they picked a venue that sucked for having it be that hot.
Yes.
But looking back as a more experienced planner, is there anything that you would have been able to do differently that day on the fly that you would do now when you have more confidence as opposed to then when you just kind of went with the flow?
Honestly, no. I mean, what? And I just say that it's a good question. It's a good question. I mean, we could have rented, I think I actually looked into renting air con units,
Okay.
but it was like so out of their budget. I mean, it
Sure.
was a lot of money for what we would have needed.
Oh, yeah.
But so like no, the only thing I would do now is like not touch that wedding with a 10-foot pole.
Right.
I would be like absolutely not. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think so. I think it was just, I mean, I guess looking back, I would have said like, well, you're looking at a barn wedding with no air conditioning in September. Maybe we look at October,
Yeah.
maybe I could have changed their mind about the date.
Right.
But there was, you know, even if we had moved the ceremony indoors, it still would have been in a hot barn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I was just thinking if you could have, I want to point this out because there's reasons why things don't work sometimes. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I wonder if you could have moved like dancing outside or something. But people have to understand there are so many restrictions at these venues. You can't move dancing outside sometimes because there's no electric for the DJ.
yeah.
You can't have people dancing on grass areas because it's going to tear up the lawn and the venue doesn't want that to happen. So
Hmm.
it's not as easy as people think.
Totally. And I would say too that like people don't say no just for fun. Like there's almost always a reason for it. So if you're just getting a no about anything from any of your vendors,
Yeah.
like always ask for an explanation on why, because I think a lot of times it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right. Right.
So
That made
anyways,
me think of a wedding that I had in the heat, really, really hot. And this was in June. So I
mhm.
feel like there's always one weekend in June in Wisconsin that gets blazing hot. And then the rest of June is you want it to be hotter. Well, this was the
Yeah.
blazing hot, and I had a tented wedding. And we were getting ready for dinner and bringing people into the tent. And the sun is setting. So the sun is like blazing down on people on one side of the tent. And so they start putting the wall of the tent down on that side because then it'll block the sun and it'll help so the sun isn't like in their face while they're trying to sit there. Imagine like sweating down your back while you're eating.
Yeah.
And I'm helping them do this. And the bride got pissed. This goes back to your point of, oh, she's like, I wanted it to be like open so everybody could see the surrounding on all sides. And it's like, your guests are dying in the
Right.
sun.
Right.
Like, we can put it back up after the sun goes down, but like, let's move on.
Right.
Like, I don't understand
I don't
that
either.
attitude. Yeah.
I'm so crabby today about this because it's just like, uh,
Well, I think we want people to understand weather plays a big part in your day,
it
and
does.
you have to be able to concede and make adjustments and not have it ruin your wedding because that's silly. That's just stupid.
It is stupid. I will say it.
Yeah.
I will say it louder. Here's going off of tented weddings. So this was not a wedding I had anything to do with, obviously, because it was because when I tell you the story about my aunt and uncle and cousins went to this wedding,
Okay.
and it was a tented wedding. And what a lot of people I think don't keep in mind when they have a tented wedding, especially. So this is where you're like creating a venue,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and it's usually on a big piece of land, whatever. So when it comes to that, it is not just the day of weather that you have to keep in mind. It's like the week of weather. Okay.
Right.
So in most cases, they're setting this tent up on Wednesday or Thursday, which is great. Because if it rains, at least there's some coverage, um, over the dance floor or and always get a floor. Always get a floor.
Yes.
I know you're going to think like, oh, it's fine. We'll just put the tables on the grass. No, you need a floor.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, um, but if it's raining for multiple days leading up to your wedding, the grass around that tent,
Mm-hmm.
okay, is going to be sopping wet.
Yes.
So my aunt and uncle went to a wedding. Um, these people had plenty of money to get a floor and didn't. I have no idea why people don't do that. And it rained for multiple days leading up to the wedding. And it was like a mud bath.
Ugh.
It was black tie. My aunt said that they were covered in mud from
Ew.
feet to knees, like just from walking back and forth to the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And then when, even though the tent had been put up, like the grass was still really moist in the tent.
Oh, yeah.
People were using their dinner napkins to wipe off dirt.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not just, I mean, it is, I think there's a lot of like glamorization around a tented wedding, and I get it. It's a blank canvas and you can do whatever you want and it's really beautiful, but just keep in mind, like you're building a venue.
Yes.
And there's no paved sidewalks leading up to it. There's no paved parking lots.
Right.
People are driving onto grass. So if it's been raining, it's going to be muddy, very muddy.
And even if you put your tent on a paved driveway or something, you still have issues. I did it one time, long time ago. The tent was on this like huge driveway area behind the house, and it rained. And I don't know if in other parts of the country this happens, but when it rains in Wisconsin in the spring, there are a lot of worms that come out and bugs. And so right before we were getting ready for dinner, everything stayed dry under the tent. But there were worms and bugs and things crawling up the tablecloths that had come out of the ground because of the rain. And they were everywhere. And it was
gross.
disgusting.
I think like I am a planner who needs a building. I can't do it. I won't do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Have you ever had a tornado warning during one of your weddings?
I've had a tornado where we had to shelter.
Oh, that's right. Well, I'll tell mine first because we didn't have to shelter. But I will tell you this because I loved this couple, and it's fine. But it was a little annoying. They were out for photos, and I had my assistant with them so I could go to the venue because they were predicting tornado warnings, and this was at a yacht club, so it was a building, but of course they had a tent that they put up for the season.
Okay.
And that's where cocktails were going to be. And so we had to fly into plan B because a tornado was coming. So I go to the venue. I didn't know a tornado was coming yet, but it was raining and whatever. And I get where your phone beeps.
Yep.
Where they like push through all your notifications that a tornado warning's happening. So I immediately call my assistant. I call the photographer. I'm like, you need to get them indoors.
Yeah.
Did they listen to me? No. So I just was like, okay, fine, then die. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm totally joking. But to me, I think, again, I'm a little crabby today, but I think this is why I'm so sick of weddings and why I don't do as many anymore, because of this like willingness to put your safety in jeopardy.
Yep.
Willingness to make your guests uncomfortable. Willingness to pout because it's raining.
Right.
I just can't.
So was everything okay? The tornado?
Everything was fine. They made it to the venue. And then they were kind of like a little bit like, see, we told you, and I was
God.
I was like,
yeah.
What was I supposed to like not tell you there was a tornado? I don't, whatever.
Right.
And then actually the skies opened up clear and it was beautiful and sunny. La-di-da. Bluebirds flew out from, I don't know.
Yeah. My couple was not was not so lucky. So this was a tented wedding.
Okay, I remember this.
And we were in the middle of a farm field. So this family had a huge farm and the tent was set up way down at the bottom of a hill. We were going to have a band. The ceremony was going to be outside. And I was doing 6-week planning. So this was right
Ugh.
after that I had Miles, the summer after I had Miles. I remember I was pumping. So
Oh
every
God.
2 hours I had to go pump, which is a huge pain in the ass when you're trying to work a wedding.
Now they have the ones that you can just slap on your boobs and work with.
I don't know if I'd feel comfortable doing that while I'm working.
Photographers do it all the time.
Oh, really? I think it was, yeah. Anyway.
Anyways.
So, okay, that's besides the point. But it was all outside and there was no shelter near us. Another beautiful sunny day. Beautiful sunny day. And all of a sudden, my phone goes off and I get the warning. And I'm like, what is happening? And then in the distance, dark clouds. And the caterer's there setting up, and the band is there setting up. And I think the guys were there, and the girls were still off somewhere else, like getting their hair done or something. I don't remember. But essentially, what happened is the tornado was coming towards us. So we had to run back up to the top of like where the farm buildings were and go into the basement of one of these farm buildings. So I'm down there with the groom, all these guys, all these wedding vendors. Maybe the caterers stayed in their van. Oh my God, they did risk their lives, but we're all down there. It was insane. The girls had to go into some gas station and shelter in place in there. Finally, everything like lifted and we went outside to see what was left. It was like the movie Twister, where you come out of the shelter and you're like, oh, what has happened out here, while we've been stuck inside.
Yeah.
The tent was still up, but everything underneath the tent had blown over and destroyed. And we had gotten so close where like tables had been set. We had these like, if I'm remembering correctly, like bookcases brought in with decor and the bar. There was so much mud that the caterer walking through into the tent, we had to find, there was hay or straw, luckily, because it was a farm that we tried to throw down. Everything was wet, blown over. We still did it because we had no other options. But it was like in 30 minutes, everything went from being set and beautiful to just being destroyed. It was insane.
Oh God.
And I was afraid for my life.
Again.
Yeah. Why do I do this?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you win, man.
The weather.
You win for this podcast. Yeah. Yeah. Like I have note stories that like are one time I was at a wedding and there were flash flood warnings and there was a hole in the roof.
Oh.
And so we had to move like 4 tables but there was nothing else we could do.
Right.
And you're just like, do you remember, sorry, off topic, but on topic? Do you remember when we were kids? So Megan and I grew up in the same like southeastern Wisconsin. We were in the basement like every 2 weeks. Like I remember having to go in the basement all the time. Do you remember that? There were tornado warnings
at home.
At home. There were tornado warnings all the time.
I don't think my parents cared. I don't remember going in the basement.
I asked somebody about that and they were like, oh, well, that's just because like weather prediction has gotten so much better, like with radars and stuff.
Oh.
Back in the day, of course, they would tell you on your TV, but they would also play like I lived in a small little town and they would not play, they'd play the horn. They'd blow the whistle.
Yes.
That blew at noon every day to let everybody know it was lunchtime.
They did not blow that every day.
They did at noon. I think they still
No, they did not.
Yes, I think they still
No, it happens like once a month.
Not in Williams Bay, Wisconsin. Hold on, I'm going to Google it.
They do not blow a whistle to let you know it is lunchtime in Williams Bay every day.
When do they blow the whistle in Williams Bay?
How often?
I promise you.
I don't even believe you. Jen's looking it up on her phone right now, and I'm looking it up on my phone too.
Who do I call? Williams Bay.
If you are living in Williams Bay, please call in.
Do you blow the horn every day at noon? Should I call them real quick?
Are you really calling them?
Okay, I just called Williams Bay, Wisconsin.
Uh-huh.
You were right.
I know I was right. I looked it up. I found it on my phone too while you were on the phone.
They do it once a month on a Wednesday at
the third Wednesday of every month.
I don't know why I thought it was anyways, thank you to, I think her name was Victoria at Williams Bay Town Hall. Can you imagine getting a call like that? Like if someone called me and was like, can I ask you a dumb question? I'd be like, why are you wasting my time? And she was a total doll. So thank you.
Shout out.
I think it was Cynthia. Thank you, Cynthia. Okay. So anyways, but my point being is that we've gotten much better at predicting these sorts of things. So they are a lot more accurate when you do have to get into a basement. It's like, you do.
Yeah, your wedding pictures are not as important as dying in a tornado. So please pay attention to the National Weather Service.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else here?
We're over an hour.
I know. We've been talking a lot lately.
Yeah, those are my good stories.
What are we talking about next week?
Kids at weddings.
Mm-hmm, yes. Dun, dun, dun.
I saw Shayna, who listens to the podcast, and her son is a big fan. He's like 10. He's a big fan of the podcast. And Levi, shout out to Levi.
Oh, thanks for listening, Levi.
Shayna told me when I saw her that they got invited to a big New Year's Eve wedding, and Levi was so excited because he listens to the podcast. So he was so excited to go to this wedding, and then they found out that kids weren't invited. So he is like devastated because he doesn't get to go to this wedding because he was going to go and like judge everything after listening to us. Isn't that cute?
Oh my God, that's amazing. Like we are forming the next generation of wedding guests.
Yes. So
I love it.
Levi, listen next week. We'll talk about weddings, and you know what? They're not really that fun for kids. So you're not missing out.
Yeah. And we'll talk about like the pros and cons of that. Cause I mean, you hear that and that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So anywho's it's check in next week, whatever. Listen to us next week.
Yes. And if you are one of Jen's friends and want to go to Jamaica, please remember to reach out because I know that she's telling me that she's trying to get people to come, but she's really not. So that's fun.
Who are you asking to come?
I always tell people about it.
Yeah, but then you don't tell anybody about the podcast.
Why do they need to listen to the podcast?
Because we need listeners to listen to us.
Well, then
more than we need people to come to Jamaica with us.
What are you doing to get more listeners?
I tell anybody who I meet that I do a podcast. And you go to a high school reunion where we feature them all the time. And you don't even tell them that they're featured weekly.
They don't need to know.
Anyways. Okay. Well, have a good week and I will see you next week.
All right. Sounds good. See you next week.
Bye.
Safe travels home. Bye. Thanks so much for joining us again this week. If you have a wedding or travel-related story of your own that you would like us to share in a future episode, send us an email to theplannerspassport@gmail.com.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Planner's Passport and follow all of our travel and wedding businesses, including We Roam Solo, Dare to Dream Travel, and Dare to Dream Weddings. And please, if you enjoy our show, remember to rate, review, and subscribe from wherever you are listening to this podcast.